Ladies and gentlemen, introducing you to this bout on our card here. It's brought to you with thanks to Astute Woolowin. We do it in the lightweight division. Introducing to you first, he stands across in the blue corner. From Auckland, New Zealand, but he's trained out of the Soma Fight Club in Bali. His record is 12 fights, 8 big wins, and just the 4 losses. Make some noise. This is John Brewin. His opponent standing across the cage. He fights out of the red corner. Weighed in officially 70.10 kilos. From the Sunshine Coast, Queensland, he's trained out of the Ignite MMA gym. 2 fights, 2 wins. One of the top prospects in the sport. Make some noise. I give you Matt Fordham. Referee in charge of the action is Phil Cassidy.
Fight number 13, brought to you by Astute Woolowin, is recommended and used by Beatdown Promotions staff for all things finance, loans and wealth management. For all things finance, give Simon a call on 0405 751 173. Fordham in the red, Brewin in the blue. And Fordham immediately looking to get on the hips. He does exactly that, just eats them up, Jade.
Yeah, and as you just reminded me before, Jake, we were discussing before the show, Matt Fordham is absolutely massive for a lightweight, for a 70-kilo fighter.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? I forgot because we have seen him fight at welterweight before, and he looked big there. Now we're seeing him at lightweight. Man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. He looked big, and welterweight looked like he looked totally fine in that division. So for him to drop down is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's not like a muscular size that we're talking about. Obviously, he's a fairly muscular guy. He's a pro MMA fighter. But it's the width of his shoulders, the length of his legs. He's absolutely massive. He's big in all the ways that cause you problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Super tall for a lightweight.
I'm loving the scramble-ability of Brewin here. Look at this. Fordham wanted it on the ground, and Brewin's the one turning it around.
Yeah, like we were talking about before in the pro ranks, it's just awesome because you see guys just reversing each other again and again, and the grappling exchanges go 3, 4, 5 times, just like we just saw. That was like 5 switches back to back in total, with John Brewin finishing on top.
Oh, snatching up a leg is Fordham. Looks like Brewin's almost cleared the knee line. Fordham, we're almost waiting for the moment where they both shoot up exactly like that.
Yeah, that was just vicious by Matt Fordham as well, just always on the attack, straight on that outside heel hook.
It's so funny when you get 2 people, they get into that position, they both know that you're about to lose it, and you're like, all right, am I going to shoot or am I going to snap him down? Brewin back on the bottom. Ford trying to find a home on top. And it's interesting to have a guy that's got the physical advantages that it looks like Fordham has in this fight. We talked about how big he is, wanting to get the other guy down. But if you've seen Fordham's game, you kind of get it.
Yeah, it is funny how Matt Fordham in his interviews, and he comes across as just a bit of a loose guy, a bit of a lunatic, but he actually fights he's a very sophisticated grappler, and he fights in a very disciplined manner.
Yeah, and look, it's easy for us to say stuff like, oh, he's insane and crazy, but what he really is, he's just authentically himself. He's just not playing the game that we're used to and seeing from fighters. He's not really an archetype of the tough guy or the guy that's the consummate professional or anything like that. He's just unfiltered, like we said, and he's unabashedly himself. Man, this is so tricky. Like, oh, John Brewin able to stay up. And Fordham again attacking the legs. Very interesting. Oh! Brewin putting everything into it. And as he does so, he gives up the hips. These scrambles are so fun, Jaden.
Yeah, so much respect for Matt Fordham for attempting that lat drop there. That is just such a high risk, maybe not super high reward maneuver, but he just does not care. He's just absolutely sending it.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, he's not actually insane, and then he does some insane stuff. But again, finds himself on top. You can just look at the way that the guys fight each other in these different positions. You can see how Fordham's going from the seatbelt, going back to the double unders. I mean, they just get it. It's very, very different once you get to this level. And Fordham's doing a lot of things well, but also you got to look at Brewin as well. He's getting himself in and out of bad positions, but he's also not stopping. These guys always know what the next thing is, whether it's on offense or if it's on defense.
Yeah, he keeps finding a way out, but it's reminding me of the last time we saw Matt Fordham in the beatdown cage with Quinn Kelly, I believe, where it was similar to this, and after a few minutes go by, you've been on the bottom the whole time, you're just absolutely cooked. We see guys who were looking strong and defensive start to melt.
Like, especially in positions, like this, where he's flattening him out and it's almost impossible to get back up into that turtle position, and you're losing the whole time.
Yeah, Matt Fordham's quite disciplined. He doesn't go crazy and blow his gas tank.
No.
Doesn't try posture up like a maniac and drop massive bombs. He just peppers away, and puts that pressure on you so you feel like you have to move.
If anything, it's these opponents that end up blowing out their gas tank, trying to get out of these precarious positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Great dilemma attack by Matt Fordham there. He's just slowly working from the mount, punching, forces John Brewin to start trying to escape and push on the hips, so he now no longer has hands to defend his face.
Oh, man. Like you said, he finds that crack in the shell and then snaps it wide open, and it looks like that's what was happening. We can see why Fordham wanted to get it to the ground. He wanted it early and he ended up getting it late and kept it there. Very, very dominating. It's interesting when you see a guy that is big but that has long legs. When they're in mount and when they got their back, it's almost death for the guy on the bottom. We're seeing this here and trying to attack the leg from our next gen constructions replay. Fordham just clawing after him, trying to get after him, and Brewin knowing enough that, like, hey, I've got space here, I need to make something of this. And then Fordham just so tenacious, getting back on the hips. Speaking of tenacious, how's the end of that round? That's what the judges really are going to remember. Round 2, fight number 13 of the night. John Brewin in the blue taking on Matt Fordham in the red. Let's see what adjustments we've got out of Brewin. And who knows, we could see more of an adjustment out of Fordham and he could tear this one wide open.
Ready, foot.
Oh, I love that. The calf kick on a guy that has such a long calf, there's just so much real estate to kick. To Fordham having absolutely none of it. It's so wild to see guys that are like this. They're like, hey, similar to Corcoran before, he's like, I want to fight in this range and there's not a lot you can do about it. Fordham is like, hey, we're going to go to the ground. And guys are like, no. And he's like, I insist. And then it just kind of ends up there.
I was just thinking that he's shooting almost with impunity now. Like, he just doesn't care. There's not much threat for him on the way in, so he just takes the shot, he commits. There's no threat, and he gets the takedown every time.
Man, and this is just Ignite grappling in a nutshell. Just so tenacious, so aggressive. It's so controlling. And like you said before, it's that idea of the dilemma. Give you two options, both of them are horrible. Oh, and speaking of horrible, look at that. And look at how deep that hand was behind the neck of John Brewin. Matt Fordham knowing enough to know that John Brewin's doing enough to at least survive.
Yeah, this one's going to be very troublesome for John Brewin. Matt Fordham looking to push that hand down. I'd say he might try and trap that arm with his leg. Yeah, like we said, very disciplined grappler. Matt Fordham never tries to force something to work. He just takes what John Brewin gives him, threatened him out, and now he's got his arms wrapped deep on the strangle.
It looks like it's across the face, and people think this is not a choke. It's kind of worse. Oh, and it is worse that you can crush the face and it cuts off the blood supply. Matt Fordham just grabbing onto his head and putting so much pressure on the jaw and the skull that John Brewin just simply had to tap. It's worse, isn't it, Jaden? Yeah, sometimes you'd rather it cleanly on the neck.
Yeah, absolutely cleanly on the neck, yeah. And you see guys lift their chin for that to happen. And Matt Fordham also, you can just see him hipping in, putting so much pressure on the back and spine, John Brewin.
And Fordham's been steamrolling competition, and he believes a few more wins like this and he's knocking on the door of Dana White's Contender Series, or at least the PFL, and I really think that he's there. And what makes this fight different, for the first time in years, he said he had a full camp for this one, and he said it straight in the build-up. He shouldn't be allowed to have a full fight camp. He's too damn sharp, and man, the prophecy comes true. He's had a full camp, and he's shown a lot of his potential. I still don't think that he's hit the ceiling on that potential. As we head back into the cage with James O'Shea.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get set to make this one official. This one brought to you with thanks to Astute Woolwin. Put your hands together for both of our fighters. Again, another great fight on our big card here tonight. But at 1:40 of round number 2, your winner, courtesy of a rear naked chokehold and still undefeated from the red corner, Matt Ford.